So Caron Shahrestani is a professional videographer and a video coach based in San Jose. And she specializes in helping female business owners create customized video marketing strategies to attract their ideal clients and to scale their income. She also works as a social media manager and an email marketer for several local professionals, artists, and nonprofits, including Marin Open Studios and Noontime Concerts. When she isn't editing videos, posting reels, or hosting workshops for her clients, she enjoys painting, traveling, and playing with her kitten Miles. So thanks for being here, Caron. We're really excited to get some hands-on tools, learn the tools that you use to create content.
Yeah, happy to be here. I'm going to share my screen and get this party started. All right, so welcome everybody, ladies, to today's workshop, today's presentation. This is the second in a three-part series that I'm doing for Bay Area Women in Production, and today's topic is easily edit vivacious videos with InShot, Canva, and AI. These are tools that I use on a daily basis to help to promote the clients that I do work for, either as a social media manager or as a video marketer and video editor. I also, have Adobe Premiere Pro. I also shoot with a big camera. But when it comes to the majority of the work that I do and the majority of work that I train my clients to use, it's between these three platforms. And so the cool thing is that there are ever expanding capabilities with all three of these. And so, like, within 6 months or a year from now, some of these will be somewhat outdated in terms of each of these platforms adding new functionalities and tools that you can use to be creative and consistent with the marketing of your brand. Thank you, Ariella, for introducing me. I had a little introduction slide here on this deck, but I just took it out just now because you basically said everything that I was going to have on there. But I am a former newspaper reporter and am currently a professional video marketer and coach to businesses that want to learn how to make their own videos and market themselves online. So here we go. So InShot is the first platform we're going to talk about today. It is a low-cost editing app that is very easy to use, and as mentioned, I use it every day. It has a lot of different functionalities that are ever expanding. I've been using InShot for about 8 years, so since pre-COVID, and about every month or two that I log on, it adds new functionalities. So it is something that I know there's also CapCut. I know there's a bunch of other smartphone video editing apps. I know that Instagram now just came up with its own app called Edits. But this is the one that I really stand behind, and that's why we're going to focus on it today. So the InShot video editing app has no size limit in terms of the size of video that you put into a project. If it is a longer video, like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, it does involve slower processing in terms of exporting the final product. But it's as much storage as you have on your phone, as big of a file as you can have on your phone. That file can go into this app. It has a monthly subscription of about $4, annual subscription of $18, and lifetime of $40. I'm a lifetimer. If we compare this to any other professional video editing apps, these are, pennies. So considering how often I use it, it's also a photo editor for your smartphone, and it does export in 720p, 1080p, 2K, or 4K. As I mentioned, it keeps advancing and updating, so at some point it's probably going to export in 8K. But I think as most people on this call know, you don't really even need 4K for marketing videos where the majority of people are going to be watching it on a computer screen or on their phone. 1080 is usually fine. But if you are looking for particularly sharp and crisp footage, or if you're shooting something in 2K, 4K, which all of our phones pretty much can do now, then you can export in that same quality, which is nice. It is a bigger file. So again, phone storage to take into consideration, but that's part of it that makes it impressive. And if you did need to compress a video for any reason, like you have a specific need and it needs to be a smaller file size, you can take a 4K video and export it in 720 and be able to deliver a more compressed edit for your needs. So this is a little screen share of creating a new project. You're looking at your camera roll. You select the video or videos. You hit the little green check mark to start the project. And the first thing you do is click Canvas, which is the first editing functionality on the menu in the bottom left there. And that will help you to change it. As you can see, this was shot vertically, but it defaulted when I opened the project into horizontal and basically duplicated the footage and added a blur. May I just say, in general, when you're making marketing videos, you never want the black bars. You never want the black space to either side of your footage or above or below it. So using that canvas feature, again, it's this little one right here, bottom left corner, very first button in the InShot editing menu. You can make it vertically rectangular, horizontally rectangular, square, whatever you need.
Can I jump up and ask the question? What's best?
Good question. If you're shooting video for social media marketing, I always recommend vertical because that works for all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube Shorts. Side note, just this past week, it was reported that YouTube Shorts have surpassed TikTok in daily views and users, like into the billions. So even though as someone who typically coaches women over the age of 40, one of the number one questions I get from female entrepreneurs is, do I have to be on TikTok? At this point, you don't, because YouTube Shorts is becoming like the TikTok of YouTube, which YouTube is owned by Google, and Google is the search engine that you want to be, focusing on in terms of SEO. So vertical for social media or YouTube Shorts. If you're creating a video, a marketing video, and it's for your website, like to be embedded on a website or to put into your next campaign for email, like Constant Contact, MailChimp, that kind of thing, then I would shoot it horizontally, upload it to YouTube, and then embed it into your next email campaign or onto your website page. Does that make sense, Ariella? So, of course, LinkedIn, Facebook, they do have horizontal capabilities as well. But when we're talking about being consistent and trying to save time in our video editing, I always say make it once and post it to the 4 different places in that same format. Don't spend too much time reformatting or changing the orientation. Oh, because maybe it'll be, better on Facebook or LinkedIn if it's horizontal. Just make it once and post it 4 times instead of adapting it, and that'll really streamline your workflow. As far as cropping and controlling volume, so we hit canvas, we chose the orientation for vertical, and then we scroll over to volume. And for this particular video, I brought the volume down and then it has an apply all, a double check. Because this was a video I made where I'm not talking, I just overlaid text. That double check on the left applies it to all clips. So of course, when you're speaking into the camera, you wouldn't be bringing the volume down. But that volume and apply all function works if you are speaking into the camera and maybe your voice wasn't as at a high enough volume as you would have wanted it to. You can bring that volume up a little bit, which is nice. And the apply all saves you so much time, especially when you're doing an edit that has multiple clips. So then trim and delete, this is the good stuff. So I did a cute little video where I step into the frame and then I ended up doing a transition where I like high five the camera and then all of a sudden I'm wearing makeup in a completely different outfit. So I'm speeding through the footage here and then I hit the split button right when my hand is covering the camera. And then once you split, it's just like cutting actual video footage that you're just cutting into it and deleting the parts that you don't want. I had 2 clips in here after I changed outfits and put on a little lipstick. And I basically am having that clip start at when the hand comes away from the camera so that it can seamlessly be a nice little transition. This is kind of a, a stereotypical social media transition video. And it's something that is relatively easy to make in terms of you not having to worry about speaking into the camera or following a script because I'm pointing to text on the screen around me instead of speaking into the camera for that content. Just saw a question pop up in the chat. Do you need a full channel with videos in order to do shorts? No, actually, you could have a completely dead channel
And just do
and
shorts.
put shorts on there. But I would say just like you would optimize your LinkedIn with updated info and optimize your Facebook or your Instagram with updated info, might as well put updated info on your YouTube,
Right.
a current picture of you, information about you in the description. People won't necessarily follow or subscribe to a YouTube channel that's empty or
Right.
that only has one video on it. But if it is something where you are planning to do more YouTube shorts or videos for your websites and email, that'll build eventually. That library will come. So then adding royalty-free music. This is important if you're going to do anything for YouTube because it does have copyright flags that Instagram and Facebook do not have. So the cool thing about InShot is it has many, many, many albums of royalty-free music that you can choose from. Some are just acoustic, right? And some actually do have singing in them. But you can see here that you can basically choose what part of the song you want it to start on. And for me, I'm choosing a song where right when the hand hits the camera and comes away, that it's like at a beat drop or at a significant shift in the song so that it's fun and it's catchy and eye-catching. And so you can kind of listen to it and then play around with moving like you're doing this with your finger, right? Not with the mouse, putting your finger on that music and dragging it to the left or the right till it hits the beat at the right point. You can also trim from the sides. And as I said, have it start or end at whatever part of the song you want it to start. And then you just drag it back to the beginning so the music starts right when the video starts to play. The other cool thing about InShot is that if you have audio from another source or from another video, this app does allow you to extract audio from a video. And that's something that's kind of rare for these smartphone video editing capabilities. So if you have music or spoken audio on a video clip on your phone, you can pull just the audio from that and use that on InShot. And then adding titles or text. So as I said, with this one, I'm not speaking into the camera, but you can see there's a capital T for a text button, and you can hit text. You can choose from a variety of different fonts. Some are already built in, other ones you download. They're all free. You can change the color of it. You can put a background color on it. So you can see right here, the text is kind of hard to read with me in the library behind it. So you can actually put a little frame or a little background color to it that makes it more legible. If you want it to be consistent throughout the video, you can just duplicate that first little text element that you create, and it'll be the exact same font and the exact same size and have the exact same color on the background. So that's an example of a simple, white on black. Another side note for InShot, all of this editing you can do without any internet access. It's not like Instagram editing in Instagram or, editing in an app that is attached to a server. Once you download InShot, you can do all of your video editing without even Wi-Fi. So I've done video editing at the beach. I've done video editing on a plane when I didn't want to pay the $8 for the Wi-Fi. I'll just do a whole bunch of video editing while I'm flying through the air. So it is something where you can work it into your life, work it into your commute, work it into times where you don't necessarily have to worry about a glitch or a lag or any kind of lack of access to these different functionalities because you're not necessarily in an internet strong cafe. So I chose Calistoga. You can see how it lays over the video at the bottom, the text on the top, and then it has little guidelines there to help you center it. And you can make it bigger or smaller. You can pinch in and pinch out with your fingers or drag from the little tools on the corners. You can see that little arrow one on the bottom corner. Why aren't you editing your videos? This is basically the hook for the beginning part of it. Step in, title. So why aren't you? And then I add text for the different parts that I point to after that. So we'll look at what that video looks like finished in a minute, but aside from InShot, did you know that almost 85% of video views happen with the sound off? Think of people who either just don't have their earbuds on them, or they're in the bathroom or in line at the bank, or they're at a cafe. It seems like a high statistic, but it's true. For certain types of videos or certain platforms, 85% of the views happen the first time with the sound off. The person might later decide to watch it with the sound on, but depending on the context, that's the reality. So because of that, you want to think about captions, closed captions or subtitles. So with InShot, you create that new video project, you upload a video of you speaking on camera, you tap the capital T, same thing we chose to type out a text element, and then there is an auto-generate captions button on InShot where it will just listen to what you say and boop, type them all out for you. The longer the video, the longer it takes, but it's usually a matter of like 5 seconds to 20 seconds for it to auto-generate all of your captions for you. So here's what that looks like. We go to a video. We choose one of me talking. This is me and my friend Susie. And we hit the capital T at the bottom, the one that says text. We hit that middle button that says captions, CC. We can pick from a variety of templates, again, different fonts, background colors, things of that sort. If I could do the default template, that shows you what it looks like. Again, you can choose one in a different color or with a bold outline. But then once you choose this, you can still change it. You can still change the font, you can still change the color after the fact, and it will apply to all. So long gone are the days where you actually have to type out your own captions for video editing. And you can see the little thing is kind of circling here, doing its thing, taking its time, and there they are. If there's a moment where you breathe between the captions, there will be a space. So you absolutely can edit these to lengthen them out where there's always text on the screen and there are no breaks. You can also see here the InShot doesn't really put end punctuation, no periods or exclamation points. So if you're like me and the copy editor and you just can't handle it, you can go and edit and add periods or exclamation points to different parts of them. If you misspeak and don't say a word correctly, you can type it out correctly. You can make all sorts of little adjustments that you want to make. Again, right now you see this is in the basic template, but you can change this font, you can change the background color, you can make it bigger. What do they see is a question, right? So I put a question mark on it. So this is something that helps with that 85% of people who watch videos with their phone audio off. It also, helps for people who are hard of hearing. It helps for people who like to read. It's really an all around winner whenever you have any sort of marketing content that involves you speaking into the camera. And I've had times where I've seen a video of like Barack Obama speaking, and I watched the video with the audio off. And I ended up watching the whole video with the audio off because I'm like, I know what his voice sounds like. I got all the information, I got the inspo. So I myself have witnessed how this happens, and people will still share it, they'll still engage with it, they'll still comment on it, they'll still like it, even if they never actually heard it. Of course, one of the benefits of talking into the camera is that people can hear your voice, adds the element of trust and them wanting to work with you and connecting with you. But this is something in terms of marketing that really helps you to capture all audiences, whatever platforms they're on, and can improve your conversion. And that's going to be the topic of our next presentation that we're going to do next month is about conversion and return on investment and how to track your engagement and results and views with videos like this in terms of seeing the difference these little tweaks can make. You can see I'm kind of fast forwarding through it, but that's just, me making sure that I've got all the punctuation and the different things in there that I want to have. 3 videos that benefit from having captions or subtitles: an about video about you, about your company, or a bio video, tutorials or modules. Let's say you're doing something that's educational or informational. Having text on there definitely helps people to learn. And of course, video ads. If you ever are going to boost a post on social media, create a Google video ad, interruptive ad on YouTube, whatever it may be, again, having that subtitle element helps to increase your conversion and your results for that campaign, because however people are kind of interrupted by your video content, that they can still consume it, even if they're in a situation where they don't have their volume turned up. So for those who feel their phone is too small to edit on, and I have a number of clients who feel that way, Canva is a free web-based desktop platform and video editing app for your phone. Canva has a video file size limit of 1 gigabyte. So you can't exactly upload a 1-hour video to Canva and edit it on there, unfortunately. There are differences between the free version and the paid version. I'm presenting today from the free version, but just know that InShot has that wider capability in terms of file size. It supports various formats: MOV, GIF, MP4, MPEG, MKV, WEBM. Never used that one myself. And it does have 4K videos downscaled to 1080p. So even though Canva might be quote unquote easier to edit on than InShot as far as the big screen and using your mouse, it does have those limitations in terms of file size upload and export. So here's an example of Canva. And this is a horizontal version of the campaign I did with my friend Susie. So you can click a little trim video. You see at the top of the screen, there's a timeline where you can take off the beginning or the end of a video, like let's say you have a bunch of bloopers in the beginning part of it, and you want to trim those out, or you have a bunch of dead time at the end when you come around and turn the camera off. So you can just pull those little purple bookends left and right to shorten the footage, make it as tight as you want to, or to take out any parts of the video that you don't want to have. It is, a little bit different of an interface because InShot is a video editor and a photo editor, and Canva is, as we might know, so much more than that. It can be used for business cards and posters and all sorts of other kinds of static material and campaigns. But it does work as a video editor as well, and it does have some of the same capabilities that InShot has. So it really just depends on what kind of video you're looking to make. This, of course, is an example of a horizontal one, but of course you can edit vertical Instagram videos or social media videos on this platform as well. As far as duration, you can see now here at the bottom, it shows us that it's, 19.2 seconds long, this particular clip. And so the way that you want to think of video editing on Canva, it's like a slide deck, and each clip of the video is its own quote unquote slide. So if you're taking out an or a shoot or something in the middle, a blooper in the middle of the clip, then you can cut into the footage and make a second slide and trim a little bit off the end of one and trim a little end off the beginning of the other. So the first capability I just showed you was trimming just the beginning or the end. With duration of slides on Canva, you can cut right in the middle of a piece of footage and take out a blooper or a part you don't want. And so this is that splitting and trimming. So you click on this little menu, you can see where it says split page, and all of a sudden you have two quote unquote pages or slides, and then you can make this one a little bit shorter, take out the part you don't want, or make the one before it a little bit shorter, take out the part you don't want. And they pretty seamlessly go one into the next, the same way that it would if you were splitting and deleting on InShot. One of the benefits of Canva is that it does have so many cool design capabilities. It also has thousands of fonts, whereas I would say InShot has like dozens. So when you, from a branding perspective, are looking to match a font, like you have a branding, profile that you're following, the fonts on your website, the fonts on your other presences, Canva does allow you to customize much more so in that respect. And then you can do animations and transitions between clips. So, if you're speaking and then you're speaking, you might not have a transition in between, but if you are doing an edit where it isn't speaking and you've got like little video clips from, let's say, a behind the scenes video, you can play with panning, zooming, it can scale up, it can go down. All the different animations here on the left that you see with Canva can be applied to the transitions or the cuts between each clip. So this is nice if you don't want it to just be like cut, cut, cut. And I know I didn't show it, but InShot has transitions for clips as well. So both InShot and Canva can record voiceover on videos as well. So if you're in a situation where you have video footage showing something, but it's just showing, it's just B-roll, then you can record voiceover on either of these platforms to accompany that. Like, here's the little behind the scenes of a recent shoot that we did when, and that, of course, just the sound of your voice, again, helps with the trust and the conversion. So for a Canva voiceover workflow, you create a new video project on Canva, desktop or smartphone. You click the share button and then the present button, and then you'll see an option that says present and record. And you can record your voice over the video or the images or the slides that you have in that project. So this is this presentation that we're looking at in Canva. And we hit share and then we hit present and record, this one down here. And then you hit go to recording studio. And now this is a completely different side of Canva for most people. You can see the little blue scale there showing that your audio is working. I chose no camera, but you can have a little circle with your face talking in the lower corner of the video as well. So if you want to have your face in the video in kind of just down to the side, you can. 3, 2, 1, you start talking. And you could be playing a video in front of you. Of course, again, this is a slide deck. It could be a photo slideshow, but you hit the arrow to go to the next one or you just let it play and you just record as it plays. Then you can see up here there's a white end recording button. If you get interrupted, you could also pause. And of course, at any point, if you feel like it's not good enough or you don't like how you did it, and you want to do it again, you can just hit cancel and discard and not even save it. So it has an option for you to download, save and exit, or discard it and try again. And InShot also has voiceover recording capability, as I mentioned. And so it's just a matter of, thinking of what kind of video you want to make, whether or not the Canva design capabilities are more up to speed with what you're looking for. But it's nice to know that both have it. So 3 videos that benefit from having a voiceover: how-to videos, event recaps, a day in the life of videographer, day in the life of video producer, day in the life of a coach, female entrepreneur. Of course, like I said, like behind the scenes or anything where you just have a bunch of footage of something and you want to add a voice to it. So if you're unsure how to script your videos or come up with creative concepts, ChatGPT AI is a great tool to get the creative juices flowing. Pro tip: AI is only as good as the prompts and the reprompts that you give it. So I got to tell you, don't be lazy. That's where someone can absolutely tell that your caption or the title of your video or the content that you make was AI generated, and there's definitely a stigma to that nowadays. So what qualifies as an effective prompt? You want to include bio information. You want to tell it what platform you're asking it the video content for, any sort of context of your situation, details about what you want included in the AI generated content, and the tone of voice that you're looking for. So to give you a couple of examples, as with Canva, I use the free version of ChatGPT, so I know that the paid version is a little different bag of chips. So a lazy prompt: write a script for a video about the benefits, and we've got too many ofs here, about the benefits of hiring a pro videographer instead of DIY. And I'm sure you'll get a response if you were to use that prompt. An effective prompt, and I know this looks like a novel compared to the other one. My name is blank. I am a blank who specializes in producing videos for your target audience. So kind of filling in the blanks there. My most recent client projects have been, talk a little bit about the videos or the productions that you've done recently. Write a humorous, sassy, so that's our tone, script for a 1-minute Instagram reel, that's your platform, explaining how hiring a professional videographer is better than trying to do it yourself. Mention how professional video is worth the investment in terms of professionalism and conversion details, and include a call to action to book a call with me. So I know this is more work on your part as the human using the AI, but I saw one of the questions in the chat was, how do we save our jobs in the world of AI? How do we compete as service providers or marketers when there are people now just saying, oh, well, AI will take care of my marketing? As AI continues to dominate different industries and fields, there will continue to be a rising need for humans who know how to effectively prompt it. Because if you just do cut and dry AI, it is painfully obvious and it absolutely hurts that marketing strategy. But when you have a human behind it that gives the bio, the context, the tone, the platform, and the details, then it actually performs for you in a way where it comes out sounding more natural. Another lazy prompt: give me an idea for a social media marketing video for my production company, right? Easy peasy, but it's going to be a pretty bland response that it will give you. So the better prompt, the effective prompt, again, my name is, I am a, who specializes in producing videos for. My most recent client projects have been, and then give me 10 compelling yet educational video content ideas for social media to attract my ideal client and prompt them to book a discovery call with me to learn more about my services. So all of this is taken into consideration. And I like to say, I always say 10 to ChatGPT, give me 10 email subject lines, give me 10 hooks for an Instagram post, give me 10, because somewhere in those 10, you're either going to find one or a combination of ideas that you're just like, ooh, that's good. And then you kind of adapt it for yourself. But it gives you a variety of different responses to choose from, which allows you to refine it from there. One more lazy prompt: create a video marketing content calendar for the next 5 months. Like you are telling AI to create something for you that's kind of important, and yet you're not telling it who you are, what tone you want it in, or any sort of details. So the more effective prompt, I am A, who specializes in, my most recent client projects have been, create a video editing content calendar for the next 5 months for a social media posting frequency of once a week and an email marketing campaign frequency of once a month. Include content ideas around testimonials, behind the scenes, FAQs, about video production, and educational topics that inform and qualify potential clients. So again, you got to put a little bit of your brain power into these prompts, but by giving these types of details, you get a much more effective result in terms of it actually helping you to streamline your process. I was going to maybe toss one of these three prompts, effective ones, into ChatGPT Live, just so we can kind of see what it comes up with. Is there anybody want to unmute yourself and give a shout out? Which prompt would you like me to put into ChatGPT? We can do the one where we're asking for a script, one where we're asking for content ideas, or one where we're asking for a content calendar. Anyone? Anyone?
We can do the the content ideas one.
Content ideas? Okay. Thank you, Carrie. I'm going to copy that, pop into ChatGPT. All right, I'm going to bully Ariella. My name is Ariella. Get ready to unmute yourself, sister. I am how do you describe yourself? Video producer?
Video producer.
Okay. Who specializes in producing videos for, who's your ideal client? Small
Well, I'll just say
business,
Yahoo
medium
because
business.
I've just done so many videos for Yahoo, so I'll just say Yahoo.
But I mean like corporate.
Oh, corporate,
Corporate campaigns
yeah, brands,
and like major brands or
brand marketing.
brand marketing. That's cool. And my most recent client projects have been like what kind of stuff for Yahoo?
Um, uh, Broadcast videos for Yahoo Sports.
Broadcast videos and edits for Yahoo Sports. Okay. Give me 10 compelling yet educational video content ideas for social media to attract my ideal client, prompt them to book a discovery call. Why corporate videos fail and how to fix them. A 60-second breakdown of common mistakes brands make and how professional production turns campaigns into ROI drivers. 3 video styles that drive engagement for corporate campaigns. Quick examples with visuals from your portfolio. From script to screen, how corporate campaign videos are made. Show a mini timeline of the process from concept to scripting to filming to editing and demystify production and build trust. Before and after, how editing transforms your message. Use a short clip, generic footage, and show how editing, sound design, and graphics elevate it to broadcast level quality. Behind the scenes, Yahoo Sports Broadcast Project. I know you might need permissions, Ariella, to use Yahoo stuff, but share a fast-paced BTS reel showing set prep, editing timelines, and final product snippet. Why video outperforms static ads with real data. Use stats on CTR conversions and watch timeline. The 15-second rule, how to hook your audience fast, a short tutorial with examples of intros and hooks. What 5K versus 50K buys in corporate video production. I love this one. Break down deliverables and results at different investment levels so decision makers understand value. I mean, I will take a 5K or a 50K contract, so break them both down. Repurposing corporate videos, get 10 assets from one shoot. Teach brands how one production can create social teasers, ads, internal comm videos, and more. And the number one secret to memorable brand videos. End the video with a cliffhanger or insight and a prompt to reach out. It's not in your budget, it's your story. And so, of course, it says, would you like me to write scripts for these 10 ideas? Pick 3 to 5 most likely to convert and write them as ready to film TikTok or Instagram scripts, or create a 30-day content calendar with these ideas mapped out, including captions and calls to action. So of course, this, we are speaking about video production, but this approach to prompting on AI works for all professions. You just need to give enough details. Was that helpful, Ariella? I can send that to you later if
Very
you'd like.
helpful.
I could send that. I could copy this and send that to you later. So back to our presentation. Another AI tool I love that I only discovered recently is Lalal, Lal.ai. It removes background noise and isolates audio using the same sort of technology that one might use to create karaoke songs, right? When you go to a karaoke bar, you're like, how do they have all these songs, these pop songs without the vocals on them? They use AI, they use an editing app that completely removes the vocals and just leaves the music. So you can use this app to do the opposite. If you're shooting on your phone or you're shooting in a less than, you're not using the professional camera setup, the professional audio and mic or boom mic or lavalier mic, but there's background noise or traffic or a dog barking or a train. I did a shoot with a client in her art studio and it started torrentially raining. And her studio is basically like a garage with a metal sliding door. So the rain was beating on a metal garage door, like, and this app took it all out and it was just her voice. I can't remember what the cost is, but it's pretty affordable. And you literally just take the video clip or just an audio clip, put it into the platform, desktop or app, and it will completely remove any background noise. So that's nice in a pinch when you're making marketing videos where you're not using a professional piece of software to make your content. Last point, staying consistent without burnout. I talked about a couple of these in the last presentation, but one way to stay consistent with your video marketing and editing is to stick to short videos, 60 seconds or less. That really simplifies the process. Batch video recording is one way to go, or ABS, always be shooting. Wherever you are, whatever projects you're doing, whether you're networking, whether you're just out on vacation, just always be capturing video content because you never know when you might get an idea for something and think, oh, I actually have a video clip on my phone already that can work for that. Schedule posts weekly. So there's some people who say post every day, post multiple times a day, post 3 times a week, 5 days a week. For my clients who are easily overwhelmed, once a week is totally fine. And you can actually schedule those out natively on Facebook and IG. You don't need to be using HubSpot or any of these third-party platforms to schedule. Create branded video templates. You can do this on Canva and InShot. You can create, something that has your logo in it on it, something that already has the font that you want, and it can have an end slide or a call to action or a subscribe button or anything like that. And then with Canva, you just duplicate the project and then you can use that for your next video. Or with InShot, you can go back to that project, the last project you did that had all that branding, take out the old footage, put in the new footage, and have all of those other elements still in line. And then repurpose what you already have. This goes along with the always be shooting mentality. If you have content already that you've never used for your marketing, that would be a good prompt to AI. I have footage of, or I have videos from. How can I use those to market myself as a video producer? Because a lot of the pressure that falls on people marketing themselves, solopreneurs, women especially, is the overthinking and the perfectionism of what to shoot next. Or, oh, I have to capture something in order to do that. But if you look back into the content that you already have, chances are it's ripe with opportunity in terms of what you can be doing to help market your content, to keep your content consistent. If you want to continue on this journey with me and work together in some capacity, you can schedule a free strategy session with me and we can create a custom marketing action plan for your brand. If you were to scan this code, it'll take you to my calendar and we can schedule that time. We do a little bit of a deep dive into the specifics of your situation and we talk about what your challenges have been, whether they are mindset, whether it's camera shyness, whether it's technical, whether it's time. And then we talk about whether or not it looks like there's alignment for us to work together. But either way, I leave you with an action plan of the best next steps to move forward on this journey, specifically as it relates to video editing and creating marketing content on a more consistent basis. So if you want to scan that, pop yourself on my calendar. I'd love to see you there. And now we're at the Q&A. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, that's my link. That's my phone number, email, website, handle, that kind of thing too. But I would love to open it up to the group and I can check our chat. What is the preferred font? I had to use a standard one. So Erica, which point of the presentation were you talking about?
I was talking about where you were doing InShot and changing the fonts around.
Yep.
Is there one that's more preferred, or is it a client's? We use Proxy Nova, which is a very basic font. So
sure. It just really depends on the brand. Like if I have a girly brand, I might do one that's like a little handwritey, a
Mhm.
little twirly. If I'm doing one that is, I mostly represent women, but if I'm doing one that is like a little more like businessy, then yeah, I'll do like a bolder, fatter font. And really, the main thing I look at is legibility. Like, there are a lot of really pretty fonts out there that are like kind of skinny and have lots of spacing, but even with a background color on them, they can be harder to read on a small screen. So, generally, I err on well-spaced letters, like they're not all crammed together. They're not one of the condensed versions.
Mhm.
I usually choose a bold. And then, depending on the client's aesthetic, I either go all caps. I know it might feel like I'm shouting at you, but I do all caps. Or I just make sure that when it's, regular caps, that it's legible for different devices. But yeah, it's kind of just, preference.
And one more question, and
Uh-huh.
I'll unmute myself. So when you put the bar, because I used to do this for Tegna, but do you like it below or above? Where's the eye line? Because we know eyesight lines. So
I've done everything under the sun. I've done it across my chest. I've done it above my head. I've also recently started doing an interview series for a client where it's split screen. They're on top and their interviewee is on the bottom. So then I have the subtitles go right, actually, like right in the middle. The problem with too high up or too far down, depending on the platform, like Instagram, depending on how they find it, if it's on their feed or if it's in the Reels tab, there can be a caption overlay on that text that can kind of interrupt it. It also depends on how it was shot. I have a client and we did a video shoot where she had a lot of headspace and then a really colorful patterned floral scarf. And no matter how I did it, it just felt like the text was kind of fighting with the scarf. So I did it above her head because there was lots of headspace. But I just make sure that if a vertical frame is in thirds, that you try to get it in that mid third. If it's too close to the top or too close to the bottom, it can be, cropped out or covered by other elements in the app, if that makes sense.
yes, thank you. I've enjoyed this presentation.
Sure, yeah, and just make sure when you're shooting, if you know you're going to put subtitles on it, make space for that. Either head space or have your head a little higher up and don't wear a crazy patterned outfit. JB says, should we put our actual name when using AI? Yes, JB, because especially if you're asking for captions, like write a caption for a YouTube video about my blah, blah, blah. In theory, you're not speaking in the first person in a video caption, you're speaking in the third person. In this video, Tracy Root is hosting do you know what I mean? Also, the more you use AI, the more that it learns from you. So if you are introducing yourself by that first and last name, if you are searchable or you have a reputation online, AI can start pulling information from the internet about you, articles or blogs you've written, third-party reviews, text from your website. So it really just helps it inform that content that it delivers to you based on what it can source from the internet while it's generating responses to your prompts.
I have a question about
Sure,
just
Carrie.
organization. Like, I
Uh-huh.
think that's where when I'm doing this stuff on my own, it kind of falls apart. Like, I have videos on my phone, I have videos there. Like, what is your organization mode for when, like, you're out and about, you're filming, whatever?
Mhm.
Are you automatically grabbing that stuff and throwing it into a file, or how are you organizing your
Yeah, good question. So there's content that I shoot for myself, my own branding, my own marketing. And then as I mentioned, I am a social media manager and a coach. So there are times where I'm either shooting content for a client who pays me to do their Instagram and their Facebook and LinkedIn for them, or where if it's a Bay Area client, I incorporate in-person shooting as kind of part of our coaching. So we get a little hands-on, face-to-face InShot editing and shooting tips, that kind of thing. So there are times where, I've got a newer Android, but it is just chock full of content. And I have yet, knock on wood, to hit the max capacity, but I've had times where I'm using my phone to shoot longer content, like one of my clients did a 30-minute presentation. And I want to make sure that phone doesn't say, whoops, ran out of space right in the middle of her presentation. So my regular organization, because I'm an Android girl, I'm a Google girl. My regular process every time I get new content is to back it up to Google Drive in a named file as part of a subfolder, as part of a bigger folder
Mm.
system. So it's like coaching clients, this client's name, April 2025 shoot, that kind of thing. So that at any time, if I am in a pinch, I can delete like many, almost terabytes of content from my phone at once, knowing that I have it backed up to the cloud. And then when I have a marketing video idea or an InShot editing idea, I re-download it to my phone from there. And then when I've edited and I've added the royalty-free music, the subtitles, the branding, done all the bells and whistles, published it to their Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn for them, then I create another folder in their folder, another subfolder called edited or edited and posted. And I upload the edited video to there so that you can then on your computer download it to your big computer, put it on YouTube Shorts, or they can just have it in general. Like if I wanted to put a video into a presentation like this, like an edited video. Oh, and I meant to show you guys. So it wasn't part of the presentation, but I meant to show you all that finished video that I was showing you I worked on in InShot.
Yes.
Okay, why aren't you editing your videos? Time, money to hire an editor, perfectionism, technical skills, complicated software. What if I told you you don't need any of that? You just need your phone and an app like Canva or InShot. Trim, transition, voiceover, royalty-free music, auto-generated captions, everything you need. Kisses.
Very cute.
So that's something where, again, because I'm not speaking in the video, it allows you to get really creative with the different text, with the different edits. And I put it to some snappy music where it was like a classical song until the high five, and then it went into a remix with like a heavy bass line. So it kind of reflected the outfit change and stuff like that. But it's easy to edit once
Mhm.
you've shot that video. Like you got to shoot it and get it in there. But in terms of the tools that these platforms have available, and like I said, with InShot, where you don't even need internet access, that's where it's like the ABS always be shooting because you can definitely have fun being creative with content once you have enough of it to play with.
Any hot tips like on like, best duration or, best time to post or
Sure, sure. A 5-second video performs better than a 15-second video, performs better than a 30-second video. I just did a 6-second video for a client and it's gangbusters. So that really limits what you can do in 5 seconds. But again, if we're talking about batch content, imagine how many 5-second video concepts you can shoot in an hour. And then you're lined up. In terms of days of the week to do it, times of the day, it depends on your following. It depends on who your subscribers are and followers are. But generally speaking, waking hours. So when you post something at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., some people might be up, but too much content will potentially be posted after that before they wake up the next morning. Yes, Tracy, 5-second videos are high performers because people don't just watch it all the way through. If you have a video element and a text element, in 5 seconds or 6 seconds. And I can show you guys this example that I did for a client. People can't look at you and read at the same time in 5 seconds. So they watch it again to see what you were doing while they were reading or to read what was in the text while they were watching you. And all the algorithms know is that one, you watched it all the way through. Two, you watched it more than once. And then that pushes it to be shown to non-followers,
Mm.
to people who are not already in your following in your subscribers. I will go ahead and show real quick, just because it's a fun one, the video in question, because you're like, how can one person do a 5 or 6 second video? All right, so this is my client Anne, how to capture people's attention in 6 seconds or less. That's the video.
I saw this one and I did watch it like 4 times.
And part of it is, yeah, she's in different places. She's wearing different outfits, right? So there's something that's eye-catching about that. But she herself is also a marketer. So, of course, for this type of content, this specific text that we're putting on there, it makes sense. But we're sitting here and it's already looped like 4 times. And on most of these platforms, YouTube Shorts included, it will continue looping until you swipe away or until it maybe thinks you accidentally put your phone down and forgot about it, and then it might auto swipe to something else. But if you think about it, there are a lot of different creative ways that you can take 4 or 5 1-second clips, put them together, and put a different 1-word or 2-word phrase on each one. Like it could be, behind the scenes at the Yahoo sports shoot. Or it can be like, why I love what I do as a video producer. And it's not that it doesn't matter what the words are, but it's just that people keep watching that really pushes the algorithm. TikTok really set the standard for 15-second videos. So I feel like there's a lot, if you think about a 5-second video, there's a lot more that you can do with a 15-second video as far as content, as far as text, as far as messaging, but shorter the better. And in terms of times, daytime for your audience. So if most of the people who follow you are Bay Area or West Coast, do it between like 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. if you can. As far as other hot tips, just, be sure to play around with music, whether that's trending music on Instagram or Facebook, or like I said, royalty-free music for YouTube. Music just makes a big difference in marketing in terms of people's enjoyment of it. It doesn't have to be a popular song. It doesn't have to be their favorite song, but it just adds a different energy to what you're doing. So that's all I've got, guys.
That's a lot and a lot of great stuff. And it's, you make it feel so accessible. Just watching you go through it, I'm like, what have I been waiting for? You make it look pretty easy and
I'm putting in my notes, Ariela's homework is.
I do have homework. You all have homework. I hope I see some content flying
I
out.
know if everybody has a homework, it's make a 5-second video on InShot.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yes,
let's hold each
Carrie.
other to it.
Accountability partners. Of course. All right, ladies, have a wonderful rest of your Friday.
Thank you so much.
I forgot the final slide. Our save the date, August 29th, is going to be our third in the series of these presentations. That will also be at noon PST. It will also be on Zoom. We'll be sure to pre-announce it on all the platforms. That is going to be more about conversion, ROI, and the real business of video marketing, making sure that you understand how these efforts are helping you to attract your ideal clients. So I hope you can attend that as well. I look forward to seeing you guys then.
And extend the invitation and have your friends watch the first 2 recordings and catch up and join us for the third.
Yes, absolutely. Share away. Let's get the word out. And thank you to everybody who asked questions today. I'm on all the platforms. So if you ever want to connect with me or, like I said, get a call on the calendar, just let me know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.